the Lord, and mighty in power. His understanding is infinite. Great is the Lord. God is powerful, infinitely powerful. He made all the stars, the sun, and moon. Great big galaxies, a universe of mysteries. He can do what no one else can do. Great is the Lord, and mighty in power. His understanding is infinite. Great is the Lord. God's incomprehensible, His strength is inconceivable. He made things that no one else can see.
Tiny, tiny
Molecules and stars and planets far from view. The God who made it all created me. Great is the Lord, and mighty in power. His understanding is infinite. Great is the Lord. Great is the Lord.
A book of books is what it took for God to get His message to us. He wrote it out, there is no doubt. He didn't want to leave us clueless.
God put it all together
and gave us all a perfect book. Old Testament!
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. Then there's Deuteronomy. Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles,
Ezra and Nehemiah.
Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs. Keep it going. Ecclesiastes and the Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk and Zephaniah, Haggai and Zechariah. Don't forget good old Malachi. A book of books is what it took
For God to get His message to us.
Yes, he wrote it out, so there is no doubt.
He didn't want to leave us clueless.
God put it all together
And gave us all a perfect book. New Testament.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, and Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians,
Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians.
1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James,
1st and 2nd Peter.
1st and 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, and Revelation. That's what's in God's perfect book. All right, to the book of books.
The book of books is what it took for God to get His message to
Get His
us.
message to
He
us.
wrote it out, there is no doubt. He didn't want to leave us clueless.
No, God put it all together, gave us all. God put it all together,
Gave us all.
God put it all together, and gave us all a perfect book.
Welcome, Sparkies. So this week we're going to do some things a little bit different. As I've kind of told you guys before, there's been times where things come to mind in the middle of the night, and I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Is this something that I should share or should I not share? And so I decided to kind of tell a story about myself, and that feels silly to me, but I really keep thinking it'd be kind of fun to share it. We've talked a lot about missions and different people's stories, and so there's a song that I first want you guys to listen to, and it's one that I really, really enjoy, Casting Crowns. And so below, Miss Beth is going to post a link, and so if you guys just pause, go to the YouTube link, watch the video, and it's just one of my favorite songs. I like how it focuses and just pulls people in to worship the Lord. So hope you enjoy. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I just want to kind of, it feels silly kind of talking about yourself, but I just keep thinking about this, and I want to just, in the next few weeks, we're going to talk about different aspects of what a missionary is. We've talked about that a little bit, and the families that we know that are in missions. But the thing is there's a lot of aspects with missions and with ministry, and it's not just going out to a foreign country. It's not just serving here. There are the people who are senders. There are the people who kind of help make things happen. There's just lots of different parts to it. And so I just kind of wanted to share where my heart is and where it has changed through the years. And yeah, so here we go. All right, so you're going to see a picture come up, and that is me with long hair, and I was 5. And the story kind of starts there. So actually a little bit before that. So I started at Awana when I was about 3 or 4 as a cubby. And I did cubbies. I went through Sparks, Chum, Cigars, and then through JV, through junior high, and that's where I ended with my church. And when I was about 5, when I was 3 or 4, I kind of realized I wanted to be a Christian. And then when I was about 5, I remember very distinctly, like it's one of my youngest clear memories. There was a lot going on. I had some grandparents that were sick. There's just a lot of stuff happening in life about that time. And I look at my kids now and I think, oh man, I was younger than what my youngest is now, but just some hard stuff going on. But we had the opportunity to tour this really big boat that came to port in my town. It's called the Anastasis. And we through our church have been sporting people through YWAM and Mercy Ships for quite a few years. And so these were names that were familiar to me. And so the opportunity to go on this big boat was so cool. And we toured the boat, and we saw were prepping it to head to South America and then on to Africa, which is the place that I kind of was focused most about, was excited about. I had always heard these stories of missionaries through CEF and through VBS. I was just getting into that age where we would sit with the older, just hear stories, and I was just so intrigued and so excited about them. And I was a very wiggly child, but I just remember when those stories would come up, I was focused and just really enjoyed hearing the stories of how God used these people who struggled, but yet they decided to serve the Lord and were brought. God used them still, even if in their struggles. And so I remember telling my dad after that, it's like, I want to be a missionary someday. I want to go to Africa. And, kids say things, and kids want to do something in their lives. But that was just something that stuck with me my whole growing up years. That was the only thing that I ever wanted to do. And there was parts as I grew up that would connect to that. Like, I wanted to work with kids, or I wanted to have 20 kids. I want to work in an orphanage, or I want to play soccer overseas. There's connections with that, but there was always that base of just wanting to be in missions. And so it had opportunities when I was about 12. I had the opportunity to possibly go to Rwanda, and then there was these giant wars that happened. But we had a good friend who had been in the area, and so she was going to take a group of us to go, but that didn't work out. And I look back now and I'm very thankful, because a lot of horrible things happened in those years over there. But then had the opportunity to travel as I got into high school and college years, and there was just nothing else. I was so excited, and I've always been so touched by those stories. And I'm not saying a lot of things that kind of brought us to certain situations, but I had a chance to go overseas when I was 18, and just treasured that time and the opportunity to be on the Cambodian border. And that was the first time I'd worked really with some kids with special needs. And later, that was a connection that I had in a job that I'm just so grateful for, that I might not have had if I wouldn't have seen those kids and worked with them over there. Well, when I was about 21, 22, I was engaged, and I just realized that this dream that I always had was just changing. It wasn't going away. It was just changing a little bit, and that was okay. But it wasn't easy, because I remember thinking, this is the only thing I've ever wanted to do in my life. And I think the reason why I'm sharing this is that I got to be on the mission team for a short time during those years, in my mid-20s, and it changed because I saw what the church was doing to help promote missions and be the senders, and that giving people opportunities. So not being on the side of the goer, but being on the side of the sender. And I just remember being a child and just being so excited when missionaries would come in and be a part of the congregation, hear their stories, and in the books through CEF, and you know, when I got told enough to read, hearing about Corrie ten Boom and Amy Carmichael and all of these women and men of the faith that, you know, that just really gave up everything to serve their Creator. And so I think that when I was thinking about all this, I wanted you guys to get excited about it too. I want you to be able to, there's more than what's right in front of us, and it's really easy sometimes, especially when you're young, to just see the world that involves our house and our family and stuff, and not see out. And so we have opportunities, like raising money for the kids in Senegal to go to camp, or when something comes up at church or with your family. I really encourage you to take those things and figure out, how can I be a part of this? Because to be a part of things is really a neat thing, and it kind of just, it's really easy to be self-focused and see what is easy around us, but really to be able to see past that, and you know, and just see this amazing world that God created, and how there are hurting people, and there's hurting people next door. There's also hurting people across the world. And how can we be a part of something that's bigger than us? So, you know, sometimes our dreams and our hearts change through the years of how, and you know, it took me from being 5 until I think, was it 36, to get to Africa, but had the opportunity, and I didn't think that was ever going to be an option, but it was, and I'm very thankful for that. And I think God has a plan for our lives, and it just, sometimes we have to kind of get past ourselves and realize that our plans are not always His plans. And so if we talk about life verses sometimes, and there's one that I feel like a lot of people have, but it's always been mine from many years ago, and that's Proverbs 3:5-6. But to really look at each part of it is, trust the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. And that's, to me, they're just not words, it's an action. Each step of that verse shows us how we can trust Him, how we can acknowledge Him, telling your brothers and sisters and family members about Christ, and then He will direct where you are to go. So anyways, I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and thank you for listening.